A lovely good evening to you all. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present Camnet Television Main News today, December 27, 2023. The top stories in the news tonight: ECL questions President HICHILEMA'S fight against corruption. Several houses in LUSAKA'S KABANANA area flooded due to heavy downpour. The Lusaka City Council hikes levies by 100% at LIBALA market. In international news, attacks kill at least 160 people in central Nigeria. And in sports news, Oriental QUARRIES boxing promotions seeks funding to host a boxing tournament. These are more stories coming up after this short break.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, fourth close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Another news in detail. Traders at Lusaka's LIBALA market have bemoaned the 100% market levy increase by the Lusaka City Council LCC amid its payment of electricity and water bills. The traders have told Camnet News that the local authority increased the market levy without notice, adding that the cost is unbearable as they also pay electricity and water bills. A check at the market found a notice indicating shop rentals ranging from 50 to 100 kwacha have been increased by 100%. According to LCC, it has increased rentals across the city to curtail the rampant trend of sub-renting shops. More in this report.
Traders from Lusaka City Council-run markets have continued to complain over the decision by the city authority to hike market levy for 2024. LCC has increased the market levy to prevent sub-renting of stores by tenants who later pay levies to the authority. Recently, traders at Cheston Market complained over the hike of market levy from 220 kwacha to 800 kwacha for 2024. LIBALA market traders are the latest to complain over the decision, as the traders Tuesday were informed over the 100% market levy hike. The traders lament that the hike is not manageable, as they are also paying electricity bills, including arrears owed by the council.
Let's say when I want to 100 kwacha, I should increase yankala 200. Manje iyo tikadipira market levy tenzo zote muri malaiti na mans but vosevo tiguna teka manje government itiganizira po brand manje hivi because it's a market tikakonka tipangana ndrama za bati branch all market tizokuti niyo tandi za bantu batavutika.
One, we pay electricity ourselves individually. Secondly, we pay water individually. Then we have increased our rentals, the levies. So the levies which we are paying, sometimes we are paying 100 kwacha, so they have increased to 200. So you are saying cannot manage.
The traders have vowed to petition the council if all avenues of engagement fails.
They say we are not using the power. You people are using the power, the marketeers. We know it's our debt, but you are the marketeers, you pay the electricity debt. So that's the dilemma we have. So we told them yesterday, look, we're not accepting 100% increment. So we are yet to see the way forward on the council account. But we also have another option. We want to petition the council to say, you can't just increase without consulting the marketeers. And you can't increase 100%. It's not fair on the marketeers.
The Lusaka City Council has, however, vowed to maintain the levy changes to ensure that it collects maximum revenue in its markets.
And the increments differ from market to market, so I can tell you that the increments are not only for Charleston, but in almost all the markets. Now, this is a situation where these shops were rented to some people who then sub-rented them to other people, and they were charging them, for example, 2,500, and us have chosen to charge now the people directly.
For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Several houses in Lusaka's KABANANA compound have been flooded following heavy rains on Tuesday, 27th December 2023. The residents talked to by Camnet TV News explained that floods has left them stranded and in fear of contracting cholera as 3 cases have already been recorded so far. Meanwhile, Area Councillor Joseph Katongo says while efforts to come up with a temporary solution are being put up, the government should be proactive in approving projects under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, to serve the needs of the people. Details in this report.
Most parts of Zambia's capital city, Lusaka, experience flooding almost every rainy season. Several households in Lusaka's KABANANA compound of Mandevu constituency have been flooded following the rains that have been experienced in recent days. Some of the residents have attributed the situation to lack of a proper drainage system in the area, which has led to water being diverted into their homes.
No drainage, so mazi akabwera chabe kumurundu many way konso kumazi road ni amene ya mazi ija road ija yenda kuchani ku drainage yakuja na hivyo jabana boroka so mazi wonse kutoka many way post pa murunda hapa road ni amene
kuchiputika na manzi kugene wana manzi bali batatiza basunga kwa mvula ikangoroka mwanzo mwanyamuka mwapochosa manzi kumanyumba ni sio wana manje ishikuvota kwanzi zangogota ni kwacha nipete tikarekeche kuvota
kuno drainage eyishiri kati eyishiri bwino drainage eyishiri bwino so tureba affected yamenshi yaringira mu mayanda afirya so tureba sana affected munandi wa drainage so government buri atuwafuidisha ko vivutule lomba buri drainage basa bombera popa kutitwa aba kuikala mu.
Other residents are living in fear of contracting cholera and tell this journalist that more than 3 cases have so far been recorded.
Na cholera kuna alisema kisa so munani wamesha eda so tibemba kushabe bome salanga ni lepo tapapata
Danda ula kuno manzi atingenera mu nyumba kuno kwatu kwachazanga basaiti pachalo bantu vimanzi vitingenera mu nyumba na kolera inafika mtupangira ngoni madrene tukumbukire nkoni kuno tipempa wakansela watu batiyanganirepo kuno kwachazanga vimanzi vitingenera mu nyumba mvula ikamba kuloka tiopa na kunkala mu nyumba achalo bantu saiti hapa batiyanganireko drainage vimanzi ni fulu bantu ataira mu mabini bashitapani makolera atifikira ise.
Others have questioned the effectiveness of the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, alleging that the construction of the drainage system was supposed to be done by 2022.
I'm on a 2021 project. 2021 project, number 3 in 2024. Tabaresta implement. So number if into file yakwisa. I want to drainage damage na yengira monso mu mayanda monso if yakuli afyonse takuli nangu badie mwemu bengaleta lero if yakula bapeli the solution ya solution tulefu aya ni solution ya kubapangira abantu drainage bapangira bamona solution ya kutiyalaba
nyumba one side drainage kuyagumuka one side kusogola kuja kwa panga crack hii office kwa mina inagwa pa number 1 paje inagwa kuja kuchukupa nyumba yangu inapanga na macrack muri tenant ya mina nkaramu sinizo anytime ija nyumba ingagwele mwana wa bene bake nzapesa kama problem ndi.
Meanwhile, KABANANA Ward 27 Area Councillor Joseph Katongo has assured of a temporary measure to the drainage system but appealed to the central government to come on board.
So if they are not seeing this development they are crying for, so my humble appeal to the government, especially to council engineers and procurement, make sure that this project is done as quick as possible so that come 2024-2025 rain season, people shouldn't be going through what we have seen.
According to Future Resilience for African Cities and Lands research of 2018, indiscriminate disposal of waste, poor drainage design, and poor solid waste management, among other factors, have led to persistent flooding issues in Zambia. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
A human rights commentator, Michael Zulu, has demanded answers from the state and the Zambia police on the death of a 24-year-old Stumbeko, who died in police custody. Mr. Zulu says the statement from the police that Stumbeko was allegedly beaten by his fellow cellmates is not adding up, saying the cells at the station are close to the inquiries and officers could have heard the noise. But police spokesperson Ray Hamonga says investigations, including a postmortem, have revealed that the deceased was indeed beaten and one suspect has since been charged with murder. More in the following report.
On Wednesday, December 20th, 2023, Camnet TV News aired a story where a 24-year-old man of Mongu district died in Mongu Central Police cells. This sparked social media reactions and submissions on whether this could be a case of police brutality which was experienced a few years back. According to family members interviewed on the fateful day, they were only informed of their relative's death when they were to visit him in the cells.
The police, they are saying that he died around 03 hours. From the time the police didn't inform us or call the family members, we are just informed that the body has been taken to the mortuary without the consent of the relatives.
Hakuna mtu yaeza kuizi mama seozi. Ahuwa kuti abamutu. Na mwaruzi bela mtu yahuwa kwa maseozi. Anafo immediately mpokola wana nuhantobola wamata kuyoeza control situation.
Human rights commentator Michael Zulu has added his voice, demanding for answers from the state and the Zambia police on the death of the 24-year-old Stumbeko. Mr. Zulu says the statement from the police that Stumbeko was allegedly beaten by his cellmates is not adding up, saying the cells at the station are close to the inquiries and that officers could have heard the noise.
The brutal killing of a 24-year-old Mongu resident, Stumbeko, while in police custody, raises more questions on the issue of police brutality, which the police command must answer, the state must answer, and the Human Rights Commission must answer, because police brutality has become a norm in Zambia. What is even more worrying is that the investigations are allegedly being conducted by officers from the same police station, which again raises questions. So we would like to sincerely call on the authorities, the government, the Human Rights Commission, and all the stakeholders in the human rights space to take this matter seriously so that we avoid more deaths at the hands of the police.
But police spokesperson Ray Hamonga has ruled out allegations that his officers are involved in the issue, saying investigations, including a post-mortem, has revealed that the deceased was indeed beaten and one suspect has since been identified and charged for murder.
As in custody, another suspect who was in custody by the names of Wasamunu did actually inflict pains on the deceased person. So investigations were instituted and the statements were recorded from the other suspects that were in the cells who saw what transpired. And thereafter on the 20th of December, we did conduct a post-mortem which actually was consistent with what was alleged to have happened, that this person actually was beaten by this other suspect who inflicted pains on him. I mean injuries, and he sustained some injuries and bleeding from the nose. A suspect by the name of Wasamunu has since been charged for the offense of murder.
On the other hand, human rights defenders have gone behind their keyboards, flooding social media with a question: who killed Stumbeko in police custody? Whatever the answer may be, it is everyone's hope that justice will be served, and served soon. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
An environmentalist and climate change expert, Morgan Katati, has described the recently ended 2023 COP28 in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, as fair. Dr. Katati notes that for the first time since its inception, the COP agreed on a fossil fuel transition mechanism into clean energy with about $700 million made in pledges. Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, Dr. Katati, however, notes that financing towards mitigation, adaptation and climate resilience remains a challenge as the yearly pledge of $100 billion is not being met. More in this report.
Thousands in heads of state, ministers, climate change experts, media practitioners, among others, from 30 November to 12 December 2023, gathered in Dubai for the COP28. COP, which is the Conference of Parties, is the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, held yearly or at intervals since 1995. The conference tracks conventions on climate change in adaptation, mitigation, as well as resilience measures. A local environmental scientist and climate change expert, Morgan Katati, was among the delegates at COP28 and describes this year's event as fair. Dr. Katati says COP28 for the first time made significant strides to address the elimination of fossil fuels.
The discussion around transitioning from fossil fuel has been a very challenging one, but COP28 managed to put a text on the table agreed upon by 195 countries. So that's a huge success by creating what was called the Loss and Damage Fund. So the COP28 in Dubai has seen the system in place, has also seen the recapitalization as well as the pledges of up to $700 million.
Reflecting on the conference in an interview with Camnet News, Dr. Katati says one of the shortfalls from the COP28 is continued failure to meet the $100 billion yearly contribution to climate change financing.
So the climate financing, obviously, if one look at the line of climate finance, would think that COP28 was not successful because it has failed to mobilize the $100 billion that has been pledged since Copenhagen. And what has been raised so far is still far short of what is required. And remember that in Copenhagen it was agreed that Green Climate Fund should be mobilizing $100 billion per year.
The climate change expert, who is also an environmental scientist, says several resolutions at the conference will be solidified as individual countries deliberate on them for consideration in relation to their climate change vulnerabilities. For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Former President Edgar Lungo has questioned the continued double standards being played by Republican President HICHILEMA in the fight against corruption. Mr. Lungo has further questioned President HICHILEMA'S fight against corruption, saying former Foreign Affairs Minister Stanley Kakubo should be investigated and, if need be prosecuted and declared innocent or guilty by the due process of the law, not by the head of state. Meanwhile, opposition Citizens First Party President HICHILEMA says acceptance of the resignation of former Foreign Affairs Minister Stanley Kakubo is a sad reality, confirming that the president is a weak leader who is failing to accept that there is grand corruption in his government. This is the second such scandal since he was seen leaving Sinoma cement premises on the Easter holidays of April 2022 with a noticeable parcel he claimed was a calendar and diary he had collected from Sinoma. More in this report.
Amidst concerns over President Hakainde Hichilema's government fight against corruption, more questions demanding answers have been posed over the resignation of former Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Minister Stanley Kakubo. Among persons to put forward their questions is opposition Citizens First Party President HICHILEMA, who says the acceptance of the resignation of the former minister is a sad reality, confirming that the president is a weak leader who is failing to accept that there is grand corruption in his government. Mr. Kalava says Mr. Kakubo should have been fired, just like former Luapula Province Minister Derek Chirundika was.
We are worried as Citizens First by the weaknesses that the president has exhibited on all this. And then also what worries us the most is the double standards that the president is applying. Why is it that the president has found it right to allow Minister Kakubo to resign on his own and not to fire him the way he fired Chirundika in Luapula Province? The fight against corruption has been compromised because the UPND, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema in particular, has never been serious with the fight against corruption. All he has been doing is to read statements written for him on corruption. That's what he does. To fight corruption in its entirety, he has never done that. And that is very sad.
Meanwhile, former President Edgar Lungo has questioned the continued double standards being played by Republican President Hakainde Hichilema in the fight against corruption. According to a statement seen by Camnet TV News, the former head of state is quoted as saying, "I am compelled to comment on Mr. Hakainde Hichilema's continued shielding of his ministers and other senior government officials from corruption allegations, while on the same time proclaiming that there will be no sacred cows in the fight against corruption." The statement continues saying, last year in April, when Kakubo was first accused of corruption, Mr. Hichilema and not the Anti-Corruption Commission (ACC) was the one to declare him innocent. Meanwhile, in the letter from State House accepting Mr. Kakubo's resignation, President Hichilema thanked the former minister and implored him to continue working diligently in his capacity as a member of parliament. In responding to former President Edgar Lungo's statement, Information and Media Minister Cornelius Mwetwa, who is also Chief Government Spokesperson, says the resignation of Mr. Kakubo as the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation is this far anchored on morality, further saying Mr. Lungo's statement is politically mature.
For President Lungo, therefore, to find that as an issue that President HH has merely thanked Honorable Kakubo, we find that to be politically immature. We expect him, as former president, to do politics that is of a higher level, but maybe we are asking for too much, because he can only give what he is capable of giving and nothing more or less.
This is the second such scandal Mr. Kakubo has found himself in after he was seen leaving Sinoma Cement premises on Easter holidays of April 2022, noticeably with a parcel he claimed was a calendar and a diary he had collected from Sinoma. For now, all eyes are on the investigative wings to see what action will be taken next and how this whole scandal will unfold. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Government has advised marketeers across the country to ensure that they trade in a clean environment amid the cholera outbreak. Speaking when he officiated at the launch of the paved road that leads into Challenge Market, Local Government Permanent Secretary Mambo Hamaundu says marketeers play a vital role in ensuring that the cholera outbreak is brought under control. Mr. Hamaundu says marketeers should always trade from clean environments. And Kabata Member of Parliament Andrew Tayengwa says following the completion of the paved road, no one should be allowed to trade from the road. Details in this report.
On the 25th of December 2023, the paving of roads that lead into the Challenge Market that were in a deplorable state for some time commenced. The bad roads made it difficult for businesses in and around the market to run, especially during the rainy season. And Wednesday 27th, the official groundbreaking ceremony for the Challenge Market paving project took place. Speaking at the ceremony, Kawata Member of Parliament Andrew Tayengwa assured Kawata constituency that there are more CDF projects underway for the people of Kawata. Mr. Tayengwa has also urged the Lusaka City Council at the market to ensure that no trader is allowed to trade from the roads once they are paved.
You know, when we do the paving, when we complete this exercise of paving Challenge Markets, sinifuna vakanso mukanda kuchita allow okuhona abantu vazichita trade mwamene morojo. So that council are becoming to check on you all the time to ensure that this market are paving up. Palipe watu wameika kwa matebo or mambo trading it up. The other issue, the Permanent Secretary, what we want also is also to ensure that the council should put a barrier, a height barrier, to prevent some of the heavy-duty vehicles. Kama mgena matraki ya kuru, mapeva za menti za ikapanga bazamba kunola matraki ya meri more than 10 tons, siya zankara.
And speaking at the same event, Guest of honor, Ministry of Local Government for Administration, Permanent Secretary Mambo Hamawundu has emphasized the need for members of the public to take care of their environment and themselves amidst the cholera outbreak.
And thank you to the good people of Chilenge. I want to wish all of you a happy 2024 and God's blessing. And let us show love to one another by ensuring that we take care of our environment. Let us throw litter on our bins. Let us ensure that before we eat, we wash our hands. Let us also ensure that any water, any drinking water,
Meanwhile, Cecilia Banda, Marketeers representative, says marketeers in Chilenge are elated by the paving of the roads around the market.
Then tuleba makana bonse kwati market abatukuya bachirenje bayitupera omukintu kuya market yisuma I market batukulira yakuti bonse tulebata okushishamo so bonse abo bayitupera omukinda mitien tukwato ku market abati mwene batuleta market yachirenje yali bali market ya clean nishi kuibutukira so bonse ba market ya tien tukwato kuingira mu market abo
Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Former Republican President Edgar Lungo has urged the Constitutional Court to throw out the case where his eligibility to contest for future elections is being challenged with costs. The former head of state argues that the petition against him is an abuse of the court process because the court already pronounced its ruling on the same issue. This is in a matter where youth activist Mijelo Chizombe has filed a petition in the Constitutional Court declaring that Zambia's 6th president Edgar Lungo was not eligible to stand in the 2021 presidential election and is not eligible to contest any future elections. More in this report.
He has emphasized and urged the Constitutional Court to dismiss a petition challenging his eligibility to contest any future elections. The former Republican President Edgar Lungo has told the court not to labor to hear a petition commenced against him because it already ruled on the case. The former head of state has been petitioned by a youth activist, Mijelo Chizombe, in the Constitutional Court, who is seeking a declaration that the former president was not eligible to stand in the 2021 presidential elections and is not eligible to contest any future elections. Mr. Chizombe, who has also cited the Electoral Commission of Zambia and the Attorney General as second and third respondent, further seeks a declaration that it was unconstitutional for the Electoral Commission of Zambia (ECZ) to accept Mr. Lungo's nomination during the 2021 elections under review, arguing that the former head of state was not eligible because he was sworn in twice as president in 2015 and 2016. Additionally contends that the repealed Article 35 of the 1996 amended Constitution excluded a person who has been elected twice from contesting presidential elections. But in the latest submissions filed before court, the former head of state has insisted that the Constitutional Court cannot review a case it already made a ruling on. The former president submits that allowing the case to proceed when a ruling was already made will be in breach of res judicata. Res judicata means a matter has been adjudicated by a competent court. The former president has since urged the court to dismiss the said petition with cost because it is an abuse of the court process and lacks competence. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
A constable police officer has admitted before the Lusaka Magistrate Court of committing an illegality by exchanging his firearm with his friend. Aaron Chonya admitted in cross-examination for an officer to exchange guns without any authorization. Chonya was testifying in a case where 26-year-old Given Kayelu, also a police officer, is alleged to have stolen his AK-47 rifle worth 3,000 kwacha, a property of the government. It is alleged that between June 4 and 6, 2023, while employed as a police officer, Kayelu stole an AK-47 rifle worth 3,000 kwacha, a government property which came into his possession by virtue of his being employed in the public service. When the matter came up for continued trial before Magistrate Irene Wishimanga, Chonya testified that he is not aware of how the said gun came into the accused's possession because the only person he exchanged it with was his friend, another officer. The matter has been adjourned to the 12th of January 2024. This is Camnet Television Main News. We'll take a break. Join us for more news after the break.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of KABANANA. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. The Chartered Institute of Customer Management has urged corporate entities to embrace digital tools in the provision of products and services. Institute President Dominic Monando says the digital economy is not the future, but the way of life now, and companies should adapt to survive. He was speaking during the launch of the African Grey Motor Online Insurance Sale Platform in Lusaka Wednesday morning. Meanwhile, African Grey Chief Executive Officer Jeffrey Chirwa says the launch of the online insurance purchase app is aimed at complementing government's efforts to realize a digital economy and financial inclusion.
after this launch, guest of honor, members of the public will be able to buy our motor insurance without necessarily visiting any of our offices or indeed those of their preferred intermediaries. They will also be able to buy road tax online, as the Road Transport and Safety Agency has also been selling road tax online for some time now. Customers will be able to pay for their insurances using their debit or credit cards and indeed mobile money accounts.
That through adapting and embracing digital technologies, you will unlock new opportunities for growth and customer satisfaction. By implementing this app, you will build stronger relationships with your customers, drive brand loyalty, and ultimately thrive in the competitive digital landscape. Further, I assure you and everyone here present that the way you have chosen this very effective customer engagement strategy in the digital age yields increased customer retention and loyalty.
The National Action for Quality Education in Zambia, NAKEZ, says it is worried about the capacity of the Ministry of Education to handle the grade 7 candidates who have failed to make the academic mark into secondary schools after the abolition of automatic progression of all learners from grade 7 into grade 8. While commending the ministry for stopping automatic progression from grade 7 to grade 8, NAKEZ Executive Director Aaron Chansa fears for the future of the more than 137,000 candidates who failed the 2023 examination. Dr. Chansa has since asked the Ministry of Education to formulate a comprehensive agenda on how to implement the two-tier pathway that is in the curriculum.
An organization that was strongly behind the campaign for abolition of this automatic progression to grade 8. We are really excited that finally the Minister of Education has abolished going to grade 8, even those that have not passed. This is very, very exciting. It shows that the ministry wants to see quality education in secondary schools. The previous policy where everybody that wrote grade 7 exam went to grade 8 was very, very retrogressive. It was academically scandalous because even those that knew nothing about reading and writing went to grade 8, and that reduced the caliber of grade 8 intakes. We want to commend the ministry for doing that, and as we commend the minister and the ministry for removing 100% automatic progression, we want to appeal for more spaces for those that have failed to go to grade 8. They need to repeat or go for vocational classes, but at the moment the existing classes are very, very overcrowded, and there are no spaces for vocational training. This is very worrying, and we want to see more change and a plan on how the 137,000 learners who did not make for grade 8, on how they are going to be attended to as we move forward.
The Cleaners Association of Zambia President Lawrence Makumbi has urged the government to ensure that all the cleaning contracts at Mopani mine that have been in the hands of foreigners for the past 15 years be given to local cleaning companies. Speaking in an interview, Mr. Makumbi says Zambia has enough cleaning companies that are capable of undertaking all the cleaning programs at the mine. He alleges that the cleaning companies that were operating at Mopani before it was closed had been externalizing money being generated from the mine outside the country. Mr. Makumbi further says that the cleaning sector is a preserve for Zambians according to the law, hence the need for the local cleaning companies to be prioritized in the awarding of cleaning contracts. He has since urged the new investors at Mopani mine not to follow the precedents of the previous investors of awarding cleaning contracts to foreign cleaning companies only, but to prioritize the local ones.
Government through the Minister of Mines to make sure that all the cleaning contracts that are at Mopani mine that have been in the hands of foreigners for the past 15 years to be given to Zambians. We are saying this because the new investors from Dubai are bringing in money, and they are going to find a corrupt system. They are going to find foreigners that were there before in the last 15 years that have been externalizing millions of dollars out of Zambia. We are saying to the Minister of Mines, the Ministry of Labor and the government to make sure they put the record straight. And the record must be that in Zambia we have laws and regulations to business, and the cleaning sector is for Zambians. It's a preserve of Zambians according to statutory instrument number 22 of 2018. Hence we are saying the business at Mopani, at Kitwe and also in Mufulira must be given to Zambians. There's nothing special at Busakire Hospital, there's nothing special at Ronald Ross Hospital and also underground to clean toilets that Zambians cannot do. Hence, the new investors must be warned not to follow the precedents of the old investors. They must give business to Zambians because cleaning is a preserve of Zambians, and there's no need for expatriates to come into Zambia to come and clean the hospitals, to come and clean toilets underground at the shafts there. We can do that job because Zambians are the one producing this debt, and Zambians are capable, and the law supports us, and we should be given this business.
Dockers and armor workers under the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the Mtendere Mission District will rebuild the Mother's Shelter at Mtendere Clinic. Speaking during the demolition of the old structure, Dockers and armor workers chairperson Nandala Hakalima says the project will cost a total of 22,000 kwacha to construct a new structure that will be ready by February 2024. Mr. Hakalima says as a mission, this is a way of giving back to the community. Details in this report.
And armor workers of the Mtendere Mission have commenced the reconstruction of the Mother's Shelter for Mtendere Clinic in Lusaka's Munali constituency. The mission built the previous shelter, but due to its dilapidation and size, they have come together once again to improve the structure by constructing a new one. Dockers and armor workers chairperson Nalanda Hakalima states that as a team, they felt the need to give back to community the little the Lord Jesus Christ has given to them. Mr. Hakalima also revealed that the total cost for the project is estimated at 22,000 kwacha.
This project will go on, maybe we are saying the second or first week of February, meaning that the target is that we'll be able to finish this project within 6 weeks. Because all the resources are there and we have put it in phases. The slab, lifting up the wall and the roofing. So approximately we are targeting this project to cost about 22,000 kwacha. And the money, the finances are there, and then we have contracted the person who is the contractor on ground now, who will start the project as soon as we are done the way you have seen it. This is the beginning of the progress of the same project.
Wow, President of the Dockers Women of Mtendere Mission says as women, they understand the need for a better shelter for mothers at the clinic.
Here we have demolished this building because it developed cracks. We are the people who built this structure. We thought of coming in so that we can build a new one, and we are even extending it because the old one was a bit small. So we are even extending it now. This is our community service building. We are hoping to finish it before February. This building will stand in use.
Meanwhile, project coordinator has promised to complete the project in 1 month's time.
The program is designed for that material yose yalipo ingasenze for 1 month. Ingatianga shotere in case koita ngambiti second week ya February. Shiyasira program yose.
We are still in the festive season. Let's continue to spread love with our friends and families and community. Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
This is Camnet Television Main News. We take our second and final break. We'll be back with international and sports news.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, fourth close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Rain Glow, your smart irrigation partner.
Welcome back. And now in foreign news, armed groups have killed at least 160 people in central Nigeria in a series of attacks on villages, local government officials said on Monday. The toll marked a sharp rise from the initial figure reported by the army Sunday evening of just 16 dead in a region plagued for several years by religious and ethnic tensions. Mande Kassa, head of the local government in Bokos, Plateau State, told AFP that as many as 113 people have been confirmed killed. Kassa said military gangs, locally called bandits, launched well-coordinated attacks in not fewer than 20 different communities and torched houses. A provisional toll by the local Red Cross reported 104 deaths in 18 villages in the Bokos region. He condemned the attacks and called on the security forces to act swiftly. Here's a roundup of international news for more.
Families in Mayanga village in Boko local government bury in a mass grave their relatives killed in deadly attacks conducted by armed groups in Nigeria's central Plateau state. Local government officials said on Monday that armed groups have killed at least 160 people.
There are many people that were killed, slaughtered like animals. They are cold-blooded. Some are in their house, some were even outside. Today, we buried about 150 all over in the zone, and they came to attack them, and they killed them. They burned churches, houses were burned, and the people are helpless.
The toll marked a sharp rise from the initial figure reported by the army Sunday evening of just 16 dead in a region plagued for several years by religious and ethnic tensions.
I thought we had been able to understand each other and we have achieved peace on the plateau. We have started receiving commendations. But the devil's work that happened on the eve of Christmas cannot be explained because it is unprovoked. Nobody here has touched anybody. Yes. Nobody here has carried anybody's cow yet. And it so happened that up till 4 a.m., there were 36 different calls.
At least 50 people were also reported dead in several villages in Bakin Ladi area, according to a member of the state parliament. Northwest and central Nigeria have been long terrorized by bandit militias operating from bases deep in forests and raiding villages to loot and kidnap residents for ransom. On Tuesday, Ethiopia officially entered default territory, becoming Africa's third nation to do so within a span of 3 years. Ethiopia had previously announced its intention to formally default earlier this month. The payment, originally due December 11, had a technical grace period extending until Tuesday, thanks to a 14-day clause in the $1 billion bond agreement. This anticipated default aligns Ethiopia with two other African nations, Zambia and Ghana, which are currently undergoing a comprehensive restructuring process under the common framework. Ethiopia initially sought debt relief under the G20-led initiative in early 2021. The civil war delayed progress, but in November, facing depleted foreign exchange reserves and surging inflation, Ethiopia's official sector government creditors, including China, agreed to a debt service suspension deal. Credit rating agency SP Global downgraded the bond to default on December 15 based on the assumption that the coupon payment would not be fulfilled.
The Israel-Hamas war saw regional tensions spike on Tuesday, with the tensions reported off the coasts of Egypt and Yemen, deadly U.S. strikes in Iraq, and strikes from Lebanon. Determined to destroy Hamas, Israel has led a relentless air and ground offensive that has left vast areas of Gaza in ruins and killed at least 20,915 people, mostly women and children, according to the Hamas-run territory's health ministry. Hamas launched an unprecedented attack against Israel from Gaza on October 7, killing about 1,140 people, mostly civilians, according to official Israeli figures. Hamas and other Palestinian militants also took around 250 hostages, of whom 105 have been released and several killed, including by friendly fires. Meanwhile, global pressure for a ceasefire has been mounting, but Israel pressed on with its war on Hamas. Israeli army saying that it had over 100 targets in 24 hours in Tuesday, including Hamas military sites, tunnel shafts, and other infrastructure in central Jabalia and Khan Yunis in the south.
In our sports news tonight, Oriental QUARRIES boxing promotions manager Christopher Malunga says that the budget for the 6th April bout has been pegged at 890,000 kwacha, which includes the two African Boxing Union ABU, bringing the total to 11 bouts for the night. Speaking during a media briefing on Wednesday in Lusaka, Malunga has since expressed happiness with the overwhelming sponsorship that the promotion has been receiving from most companies. Mr. Malunga has since expressed optimism that come next year, government will purchase the new rings owing from the fruitful conversations that he recently had with the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Art Permanent Secretary. Meanwhile, speaking at the same event, Oriental QUARRIES boxing stables coach Michael Zulu explains that the Oriental QUARRIES boxing promotion has produced and will continue to produce world-class champions, saying David Mwale is a 13th champion. And David Mwale, the new African Boxing Union ABU champion, has pledged to remain focused and defend his title through hard work, discipline, so that he keeps the belt.
For the upcoming tournament of the 16th of April 2024, the first quarter of the year is 890,000 kwacha. 890,000 kwacha. This will go towards the entire tournament. And take note that when you hear 800 and something thousand kwacha, not all the budget is in cash. Part of it is hotel accommodation, transportation, food for the boxers, officials, all that.
Produced almost, he must be the 13th African champion produced from our promotion. And what makes it for him is that he's on the roadmap. I've got my colleague here who does this work of doing now. The approaches, he will sit down, he will go to the convention and talk about what's next. Because you see this African ABU title, it is a way to the WBC title fight.
It's a lot of discipline. Yeah, he doesn't mean the champion to become too much compassionate.
First of all, you need to have discipline if you want to be there. As a follower, I need to be serious with training. Yeah, because all eyes are on me now. Yeah, so what I can say, I need just to work in so much so that I don't lose this spirit.
That boxing story brings us to the end of our news tonight. But before we go, the headlines once again. ECL questions President HICHILEMA'S fight against corruption. Several houses in Lusaka's KABANANA area flooded due to heavy rains. The Lusaka City Council hikes levies by 100% at LIBALA market. In international news, attacks kill at least 160 people in central Nigeria. And in sports news, Oriental QUARRIES Boxing Promotions seeks funding to host a boxing tournament. Our comment verse of the day is coming from the book of Psalms 105 verse 4. Look to the Lord and his strength, seek his face always. Thank you for watching Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Good night.